So we're going to be talking about carbon capture today. So yeah, so like finding modern solutions to one of like the biggest environmental changes to reduce CO2 emissions. So what's the problem? So there's kind of burning fossil fuels for energy releases when there's massive amounts of CO2 in the atmosphere. This traps heat in the atmosphere, which could drive global warming, melting ice caps, and extreme weather. So without change, these effects will continue to like grow and intensify basically. So in 2022, global CO2 emissions can reach 5.1 billion tons, and by 2025, it's expected to exceed 420 parts per million, which could be the highest in human history and a major driver of climate change. So when there's higher CO2, it kind of means rising sea levels, right? Because currently they're increasing by about 3.6 millimeters per year, which doubles the rate kind of seen in 1990s. So this threatens kind of coastal areas, wildlife, and kind of millions of people worldwide. So the concept, what is kind of like carbon capture? So carbon capture kind of traps CO2 before it enters the air, capturing around like 45 million tons of CO2 a year is like removing basically 10 million cars from the road. So the gas can be stored kind of underground to allow reusing in like industries like fuel production. So how does carbon capture actually works and how does it affect like the grand challenge? So there are three main methods. So the first one is post-combustion capture, which kind of uses amine liquids that absorb CO2 from power plant gases. And you've got pre-combustion capture, which removes carbon before fuel is burnt, and direct air capture, which pulls CO2 straight from the air. So these like reduces greenhouse gases and improve air quality, which prevents like kind of health problems. Uh, as there's less CO2, there's less like cardiovascular like symptoms and like problems. So what happens in the future? So for example, new materials like MOFs, metal organic frameworks, are making capture faster and more efficient, and like projects such as Carbfix in Iceland even turn like CO2 into like solid rocks, which these innovations show how science could and like engineering can lead to a cleaner, more sustainable future. And yet here are my reference.